Well, we have actually going to be joined by Richard Becker with Answer Coalition from San Francisco regarding the same story with the occurrence in Afghanistan. Mr. Becker, thank you for joining us on Press TV's World News. With the current situation in the U.S. economy, spending 10 years, in the past 10 years with Afghanistan and the money spent on wars abroad, now they want to spend another decade in the country. Why would the country want to do that? What is the U.S.'s presence needed for in Afghanistan?
Well, clearly, the people of the United States are not interested in continuing this war, are opposed to the war and the continuation of the war. And I believe that President Obama's surprise visit to Kabul and then his speech afterwards is meant to convey to people here that the war is actually really ending. But the reality is that tens of thousands of U.S. troops will continue to stay in Afghanistan until 2014. We don't really know what will happen after that, but we do know that the agreement says that the U.S. will be there for another decade after that. And this is clearly contrary to the interest of the people of the United States and, of course, contrary to the interest of the people of Afghanistan.
And, Mr. Becker, the main concern with U.S. troops and the U.S. spending time in Afghanistan, as President Barack Obama always says, is to enhance security and train the soldiers, to enhance the civilian life and safety of the people in that country. However, we're seeing that civilian life is going unstrained. Why is the U.S. continuing, in your opinion, to spend so much time in Afghanistan?
Well, for one thing, they do not wish to appear to have been defeated. So they are going with a strategy over the long haul, it appears, of Afghanization of the war, reminiscent of the Vietnamization of the war that in Vietnam decades ago that was a complete failure. And they cannot win this war. There's no question about that, but they have not given up trying to win the war, nor have they given up the idea of keeping bases in what they view as a strategic country, which borders Iran and borders China, two countries, and Russia, three countries that the United States is targeting at this point, and sees as its enemies of both the present and the future. So the U.S. is trying, the U.S. leadership is trying to present to the people here who are opposed to the war, want to see the war really ended, that they are moving forward in that direction, while at the same time they are clearly planning to stay in Afghanistan for a very long time.
And Mr. Becker, briefly, if you can just explain to us, with the current situation with the U.S. economy and the budget deficit of over $15 trillion in debt, why is the U.S. not spending this money to bring infrastructure in America as opposed to spending time and money on countries abroad?
Well, the government of the United States, including the Obama administration and the Bush administration and Clinton before them, and we could keep going back, do not really stand for the interest of the people of the United States. They really stand for the interest of empire. And so while we're seeing a huge increase in the national debt, huge cutbacks in the social programs that people need, particularly at a time when we are still in a very, very severe economic crisis, it really shows what their interests are. You know, the debt of the United States is virtually entirely attributable to wars past and present.
Very well. Thank you for that. Richard Becker with Answer Coalition joining us from San Francisco.